Yadyad vibhutimat sattvam Srimad urjitam evava Taddeva avagachatvam Mam tejo ansham sambhavam. Hello friends, this is the 41st shlok of the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and today we will understand this shlok in detail. So let's first go over its meaning. So the shlok says, Yadyad vibhutimat sattvam, which means to whichever glorious entity you go to, Srimad urjitam evava, which means excellently or beautifully, surely, Taddeva avagachatvam, which means you will reach that Deva, Mam tejom ansham sambhavam, which means will become a part of my brilliance. So, in this shlok, Sri Krishna is describing to Arjun that whichever entity of my glory you will go to with beautiful excellence, that particular deity you will attain, and thus you will become a part of my brilliance. So, this shlok actually is providing a very good explanation for why there are so many deities in Hinduism. Often, other faiths they put an allegation on Hinduism saying that it is a faith where there are so many deities, and so this faith is basically inferior faith because it is polytheistic, and it doesn't really have a single locus of a supreme deity, sort of. So, in this shlok, we get an understanding of why there are so many deities in Hinduism, and yet Hinduism has one supreme deity. So, we can understand it from the previous shloks as well, wherein Sri Krishna has said that there is no end to my glories or opulences. So, we understood how in every entity in this universe there is a divinity which is present, which gives it a standing in this creation. The entity which is present in this universe serves a purpose in this creation in terms of sustaining this creation and moving it forward, and that particular merit that that entity has, that is the opulence of Sri Krishna which is present in that particular entity. And Sri Krishna has mentioned that those opulences or those glories are infinite. So in this shlok, Sri Krishna is saying that whichever glory you will go to, that particular dev you will attain. So that deity is basically that particular glory of Sri Krishna. Now, since the glories of Sri Krishna are infinite, therefore the deities also will be infinite. So that's why in Hinduism there are so many different deities, because all these different deities are basically a representation of a particular glory of Sri Krishna, which is present in a particular entity in this universe, which is doing its own thing to sustain this entire creation and move this divine yajna forward. So, since there are infinite entities, there will be infinite glories of Sri Krishna, and therefore there will be infinite devas that will be there. So, this is the idea that the Abrahamic faiths are not able to understand, and because of which they then put an allegation on Hinduism that, oh, Hinduism is like this or Hinduism is like that. So, these people don't understand this idea of the infinite glories of the divine Lord. They are too much focused on just the one deity, one deity, one deity, there's one God, there's one God, there's one God. They are too much focused on that they are not able to realize this fact. They have these different angels, you can say, but they are somehow are not able to relate to the angels and the deities in these faiths, because the way these two thoughts think are a little different, and because of that they are not able to understand this whole idea. So in the previous chapter, Sri Krishna had said that if you want to attain me, then you have to worship me and no one else. So this is the idea which is similar to their idea also, wherein they say that you should only worship one God. So over here also Sri Krishna has said that you should only worship me, but there is a difference. A person who is too focused on the idea of just one God, one God, one God, will say that when Sri Krishna is saying that you should worship me and no one else, then what Sri Krishna is saying that you should only worship Krishna, and you should not worship, say, Shiva or Shakti or Buddha or Allah or God or whatever. You know, that is how a person who has limited understanding, who is only focused on one God, one God, one God, will interpret this message. But that is not really the case. That person who is focused on one God is not able to understand that what he thinks as his God, someone else might call him with a different name. A person can call the same supreme deity by Ram, or Krishna, or Shiv, or Kali, or Durga, or Ganpati, or Hanuman, or Buddha, Jesus, Allah, Jehovah, whatever you might call him. The supreme deity, someone can call him with a different name. That person is worshipping with a different name because that person has lived in a different culture. They have faced different situations, because of which that same supreme deity, they have looked at it with a different point of view. But these people who are too much focused on one God, one God, one God, they are not able to get over their tribal instincts to understand the point of view of others. They somehow think that everybody should worship what they worship. So that is what such foolish people do. And these foolish people, they don't make any progress in spirituality. They remain trapped in this world, in the maya that this world is presenting, and they cannot really go beyond their own thinking. So this is the problem, because of which other faiths put this allegation on Hinduism. So here Sri Krishna is saying that whichever entity of my glory you will worship, that particular Dev you will attain. So you have to understand over here this confusion of worshipping many devas that people have spread. So this life is a spiritual gymnasium. In this life, everybody has to make spiritual progress, but the thing is that everybody is experiencing different spiritual problems over here, and that is because the deeds of each individual in the past has been different. Because the deeds of each individual in the past have been different, therefore the spiritual problems that an individual faces in this life is going to be different for different people. This is the reason why different people are born in different physical circumstances, in different economic situations, with different temperaments, with different physical characteristics, with different economic characteristics, and so on and so forth. So, this is happening because people have performed different deeds in the past, and so the spiritual problems that they will face in this life are going to be different, and so they are placed in different life situations. So, what we can say from this is that the spiritual illness of each individual in this world is different. Now, the faith of a person or the spiritual journey of a person is the spiritual healer which can solve the spiritual illness of a person. Now, just as a physical therapy heals your body, similarly, the spiritual therapy heals your spirituality. So, just as a physical doctor will give you a physical medicine to solve your physical illness, similarly, a spiritual doctor or a spiritual faith will give you a spiritual medicine to overcome your spiritual illness. Now, if there were two people who were to go to a doctor, one person had a broken leg, another person had a high fever, and the doctor provides the same medicine to both of them, then won't you call such a doctor an idiot? So, similarly, in the spiritual realm, also, same remedy cannot be provided to everyone, and yet people want to force their own medicine down the throat of others. So, this is the stupidity that people are doing. Our eventual aim is to attain the Lord. Now, the path can be different for different person because the spiritual illness of different person is different. But there is a trap here, the trap is that many a times the means that we use to attain the end can confuse us, and we might confuse the means to be the end in itself. So, as an example, if let's say I attain spiritual merit by earning money for the Lord, it might so happen that I might start thinking earning money to be my Lord itself. So, if earning money makes me calm and brings me closer to the Lord, I might start thinking that no, it's the money itself which is my Lord and not really the Lord in itself. So, when that confusion arises, then people start to go after money or fame or power and things like that. So, that confusion you have to overcome. But you have to still understand that to attain Lord, you have to have some sort of a path to get to it. So if you are a person who uh, feels closer to God by earning money, then you have to make sure that you are earning that money to attain the Lord and not earning the money in itself. So you have to have a mindset wherein you can say that I am worshipping the Lord by earning money. Therefore, by doing that, whatever action you perform to earn money, that will become a worship of the Lord in Himself. So this is the problem. The worship is not just the worship of performing worship in front of the Lord in itself. The worship is performed by your actions. So when you are doing any activity, you have to make sure that that activity is performed for the benefit of the Supreme Lord. The earning of the money is not bad in itself. It's when you earn money for your own self that it becomes a problem. But if you were to earn that money for the Lord itself, so you are worshipping Kuber, but you are worshipping Kuber for the sake of Sri Krishna, then you have basically ended up worshipping Sri Krishna in himself. That is what is the message over here. So if you were to go after Kuber and you said that, okay, I am going to attain the glory of the Lord in the form of Kuber, then you can go for it, but keep in mind that you are doing it for attaining Sri Krishna himself. So you are attaining the brilliance of Sri Krishna by earning money. You are doing it for the sake of Sri Krishna. Now here some people might start to object and say that, why are you creating so much confusion? Why don't just worship Sri Krishna or Allah or Jesus, whatever is your supreme deity you consider? Why don't you just go after them? Why are you creating this confusion of earning money, or worshipping Kuber, or worshipping lower deities? So here you have to understand that this process of worshipping the ultimate deity is something which might work for a monk who has basically given up everything, but everybody is not a monk. This society cannot really function if everybody becomes a monk. There are people who are needed in terms of the ones who carry out the social functions also. So these are the ones who are worldly people. They have to live in this world and they have to perform their duty as a worldly person. Now when you are acting as a worldly person in this world is a chaotic place, and when it becomes chaotic, you might forget the Supreme Lord while carrying out your own duties. So you need to have a way to remember the Lord all the times. And the way to remember the Lord all the times is by looking at His glory in this world. So, looking at everything in this world with some divinity present in it. When you do it like that, so for example, earning money is not bad at all. A society cannot really function without money. So, money is needed. Money performs so many good things. All the activities that are going on in this world, they are performed with the help of money in itself. So money is very important. A world cannot function without money. So when a person looks at that divinity in money and attains the money for that sake, for that divinity's sake, then he is actually worshipping the Lord in himself. So he can see divinity in money also. He can see divinity in all actions that are being carried out here. Just like we saw in the previous shlok, that even cockroaches have a divinity present in them. So when you see that divinity in everything, that is how you can remember the divine all the times if you are living in the world and you are performing your actions. So the whole idea of creating all these lower deities is to provide you an anchor so that you can then look at the divinity in all the actions that you are performing. So that's why all these deities are created. And that is what Sri Krishna is saying over here, that whichever opulence of mind you will go to with complete beautiful beauty and complete spiritual resolve to get to it, you will attain it. And through that you will attain me, you will attain my brilliance. So I hope that this idea becomes clear to you, because most of the people are not able to understand this idea, and especially the people from other faiths, they are not able to understand it, and they create all the confusion in the people who are from Sanatan Dharma by saying, oh, when you are worshipping this lower deity, you are not really worshipping the Lord and things like that, and it creates a lot of confusion. So I hope this becomes clear to you over here. So with that, I will close this video. I will see you in the next video. Take care.